Hello everyone and welcome back to some more Aston Martin Road to Glory here today, round 6 at the Spanish Grand Prix in Catalonia. If you haven't seen round 5, go check it out, the previous episode at Miami, link in the top right. We're going to talk about things that happened in that, so spoilers are ahead. Now then, as you can see on screen, we have 4 upgrades planned for this race weekend. If that sounds exciting to you, leave a like and subscribe, as we're going to get into the details and hopefully they all arrive. So, first things first, confirmation that the gearbox upgrade has arrived, which unlocks a bunch of other reliability upgrades. I'm going to go ahead and look to upgrade the chassis, but we've reached maximum capacity, so I'm going to instead do another aero upgrade, which is a major one for the front downforce, and that should arrive just before Baku if it doesn't fail. With that done, I spent the points and we had to wait a couple of days for the upgrades to arrive. In the meantime, we got hit with a department event for the chassis and had the option to agree or disagree in regards to how to spend X amount of resource points. And as you can see, I'm clearly going to disagree because it's going to give us a 400 point bonus. A few days later, upgrades started to arrive and fail, as the rear wing upgrade, which was a major one, hasn't arrived, and also it's too expensive to repurchase right now. So yeah, bit of a shame. Eventually we'll get round to that once again. For now though, I'm going to purchase another chassis upgrade because we've got a decent discount on this one and I want to buy it before it gets too expensive. Now with that said, here we are, race weekend at Spain, and we'll take care of that failed upgrade in the next episode because that will 100% arrive now when I purchase it next. So we'll basically get it on the car for Baku. I wanted to get that chassis one on the car first because in case it fails, we can turn it around faster. Anyway, with that said, confirmation that the 3 upgrades are on the car. One of them failed, which was the bigger one, but it is what it is. Still a triple upgrade nonetheless, a quadruple if you include the gearbox upgrade. And as you can see, we take a big step forward in the performance chart heading into the weekend's action. So very much a positive step in the right direction. With that said, onto the track for the first time this weekend, and the first thing I want to direct your attention to is engine wear, specifically gearbox. Now we're going to be struggling with this all weekend I think, and I was, and I still am, planning to stick with this engine for this race and also Monaco in round 7. We'll see how the engine wear though progresses throughout the weekend. As for the practice run, tyre wear and pace were really decent, so we're definitely improving and getting better in that aspect, as we also bagged a whole bunch of R&D points and also a whole bunch of discounts, which is going to help us out in the long run. And yeah, we'll take care of that at the start of the next episode, as we're now level 5 on driver acclaim. With that said though, we're going to move to qualifying into Q1 more specifically, and we're going to get this out of the way. No rain forecast in qualifying or race. Overcast pretty much the entire weekend though, so no sunny skies here in sunny Spain as we get qualifying underway. So first lap, not exactly the best start. We haven't even actually officially started yet, and we had a bit of a moment on the power leaving the final corner. Making our way though down to turns 1, 2, 3, which compose sector 1, braking at the 50, down to 4th, clipping the curbs as we again have some instability, and I actually decide to just basically back off and try again. I've got fuel, I've got battery and tyres, so I just thought I'd try that again because it was a really scruffy start to the lap, and I only got 3 corners in and it was absolutely horrible. So yeah, second attempt was much better. Up to the line we go with DRS open, and our first banker is P12 ahead of Latifi, and Schumacher Stroll just gets ahead of us there as he crossed the line just after us. And you can see with 4 minutes to go, it's looking a bit of a tall order to get into Q2, to be honest. We're half a second away from Ocon in P15, but we'll give it a best shot. It does seem like this is actually one of our weaker weekends. Even with the upgrades, the car seems to be not suited to the circuit because even Williams look stronger than us. So yeah, we could be the worst team on paper here. Anyway, last attempt, let's give it everything and see what we can do. Again, brake at the 50, down to 4th. Didn't get enough of the inside curb through 1, but we get a lovely run through 2 and find half a tenth. We also have to just be careful through 3, have a slight correction to avoid losing the back end. So it wasn't an optimal sector 1, but it's good enough, and we're up on Albon by a little bit. Through turn 4, and now down to 5, going nice and early there, getting the nose in, and we actually find a chunk of time, which was great. So a nice improvement there. Into now 7 and 8, just clip the inside curb, avoid the sausage on the exit as we now head uphill, 2 turns up. Through turn 9, didn't quite nick the apex there, so we don't really find any time, which there was some on the table. Into turn 10, braking, getting a nice tight line and trying not to run too wide. We get the power down super early and find a 10th. Through 11, focusing on the exit here, so looking to get the power down and really use with this runoff curb to then open up 12 and then into 13 and 14 at this point. Just try and keep a little bit of throttle on. We have a slight bit of oversteer in between the apexes, but we do manage to hold onto it well and up to the line. And we're going to improve by 3 1/4 tenths and move into P16. So we're not into Q2, and Stroll also gets ahead of us. But to be fair, a decent improvement on that final run as the checkered flag drops. So Q1 finished, double Q1 knockout for both of us. Schumacher out, Ocon the big surprise, who also did not improve on his second run, and Latifi at the back, quite a way back in terms of pace. Now I will admit, I don't think I could have got through, but I do think there was a bit more pace in the lap. Definitely enough to get the edge on Stroll, but not a lot more than that. I do think we're in a bit of trouble this weekend, at least in terms of one lap pace. We're not where we want to be. Either way, no points scored on Saturday, points are scored in the race, and we're still pointless this season, so hopefully we can change that in the race.
Welcome then to what promises to be another fascinating Spanish Grand Prix, a race which saw Max Verstappen take victory on his first ever appearance with the Red Bull team in 2016 after the dramatic coming together of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. Will we see more moments for the scrapbook here today? The circuit of Barcelona-Catalunya, a track that will certainly force the drivers to push themselves. It also consists of a very impressive main straight going into turn 1. It's a straight that also offers a DRS zone, so it's likely to be a hotspot for overtakes. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Russell, Carlos Sainz, and Leclerc. Norris, Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, and Guan Yu Zhou. Tsunoda, Albon, Pierre Gasly. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Ocon. Stroll, Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas. They've taken a grid penalty. And Martinez, Latifi, and Mick Schumacher. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. A warm welcome to Natalie Pinkham, who is beside me in the commentary box today. We should talk about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within the team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do. And that has definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Now then, here we are for the Spanish Grand Prix. This is going to be, I think, a painful race. The reality is we're not very fast here, and qualifying essentially proved that. I think we can get a bit closer and challenge. The race pace is usually better, but I'm just not confident how close we can really get. Now, one thing I will say, I hope from now on we can really improve the performances in the race, because I will say one thing, I think we've kind of sorted out the fuel. We know where the sweet spot is, so I'm running 0.2. Along with that, I'm also running some pretty high tyre pressures, which we seem to be able to get away with. So that should give us slightly better tyre wear. So yeah, we're going to jump into it and give it our all, give it our absolute best. And hopefully, maybe today, when we least expect it, we might score our first points of the season. Here we go then. Another race. Can today be the day? We're about to find out. The lights are on. Away we go.
Okay, we're monitoring somewhere on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
Really not a good start. But we'll try around the outside to re-challenge and get back past Latifi. We've got the jump on us. Now into turn 3, you're going to try and stick one around the outside. Latifi though goes through. Bottas a bit slow. We'll have a look on the outside here. 3 wide ahead, Ocon, Ricciardo, Latifi. What a start from the Williams driver, as we have a huge moment there. Have to catch the back end to avoid having a huge accident. Schumacher looking for the move through here, and he's actually managed to get his nose in, so I don't really have anywhere to go right now. 3 wide still, Ricciardo, Ocon, Latifi, all the way from turn 4, all the way up to turn 9. So yeah, it's been a poor start from us, losing a couple of places. Stroll getting a brilliant start and taking full advantage of the grid penalties to, you know, get himself up into P14. Absolutely fantastic. Schumacher a bit slow off the hairpin now. Try to have a little look. Trying again to have a look around the outside there, but just don't quite have the confidence or the grip to go for that sort of pass. I will stick one up the inside here though, and just feather the throttle and squeeze that one through. So we're not last at the end of the first lap, but work to be done. Not sure how much of a role the engine wear is playing in this one. So we have a yellow flag.
Yellow flag.
Oh my god, I'm not sure who it is, but someone's broken down and it's causing trouble. Gasly out of the race already.
Okay, clear.
And we saw some debris. Ocon without a front wing. He tries to defend and fight me without a front wing. But we're going to go through and pick up 16th place. What a crazy start to this race. And we're already up a couple of places. Another yellow further back. Ocon's gone off. Let's try and chase after the cars ahead and get back within DRS range. Ricciardo's flying. He's got past Latifi. Now is all over the back of Lance Stroll. I'm trying to see if I can just nick the DRS off the Williams in. I think I've just got it. Yes, I have. A great final sector from us there, and we get within Latifi's DRS. I will say our straight line speed is not great. Like I said, I'm not sure how much the engine wear factors into this, but we'll see what we can do. Ricciardo through on Stroll for P13. Let's look to try and get Latifi and Stroll at least and lock in that 14th place. That's the best we can hope for on the road right now. Schumacher unable to keep up with me. Bottas also. I wonder if they both got slight damage. Latifi getting out of shape there. Ricciardo flying. He's now got past Albon, so he's now dropped into this fight. So it's essentially 2 Williams versus 2 Aston Martins in this one. And the battle looks to be for P13. If there's any 2-stoppers, we might gain a place or 2. So I'm not saying we're going to get points, but we could be in a battle for points. Well, right now, Albon's been able to actually hold on to Ricciardo. Ricciardo can't pull away, and we're all being dragged into the fight. So this is now a battle for P12. We'll see how this develops. Tyre wear is pretty low. However, the main takeaway here is that this is a classic Spanish Grand Prix where DRS and the DRS train is causing a pretty meh race. Not a lot of action. At the moment, the pace is actually dropping a little bit. Ricciardo isn't really pulling that much. Schumacher's about to catch up here and join the train, so I'm just getting ready for the pit stop phase. That's all we're doing, trying to recharge the battery to 100%, and then we're going to go for like a crazy in lap. Most likely an overcut of sorts. Okay, Albon pits. That's going to open things up a little bit. Let's see how that affects things.
Okay, we want you to pit this lap, so push now, push.
I might try and stay out, and that means Stroll will probably stay out as well. I do want to go for a bit of an overcut. Let's see who pits on this lap. Ricciardo, Latifi. Schumacher stays out, interestingly enough. Let's stay out one more. Stroll will probably pit this lap. Bit of traffic here on cold tyres, which could be interesting. Stroll just behind Leclerc. Those guys should be fast enough to not really cost us any time. Right, let's see if Stroll pits. If not, then I'll pit. So essentially, we're doing the reverse of. And there we go, Stroll pits, and so should Schumacher. Right, let's drain our battery.
Lance is in for his stop.
We'll use everything we've got on the in lap to try and hopefully leapfrog everyone. Really good in lap. Couple of personal best sectors. Very good pace. This could get us right in the mix, I think. Here we go. Into the pit entry. Hopefully we can maximise the pit sequence. But that was a very, very good in lap. Decent final lap as well, just to really polish it off well. Let's see if the pit crew can deliver. Oh yes, 2.2. That is a world-class pit stop right there. Stroll's at the front of the train, and we was right next to him.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
Looks like it's going to be close, but I think we've just got this. Cold tyres though, which is going to be a bit of a problem. AI are much better than me on cold tyres, but we'll try and hold our own. As Ricciardo goes through on Stroll there, not sure what happened to Lance, but we're at P12 right now. Not sure how that happened, but we'll take it. Ricciardo looking for a move. I'm just basically making my car as wide as possible, and I think we're going to be okay here. Just defending nicely, keeping Ricciardo at bay. He's looking to go through. Right, I think we've got this. Ricciardo having a timid look up the inside, but doesn't commit. This is where I'm strong. Let's try and put away now. I don't know if I'll have enough pace to break the DRS, but I'll give it a shot. No, I don't have enough pace to break the DRS. Probably not going to have enough pace to even stay ahead, to be fair, but hey ho. We'll give it a shot. I think we've got it, you know. Ricciardo was battling with Stroll on that lap, so it cost him some time, and I think we've managed to break the DRS as we essentially match our personal best without DRS. Let's see if we can keep it that way. Oh yeah, Stroll battling with Ricciardo. This is good stuff right now. Bit more of that, and that'll help us out beautifully just to hopefully get the gap. Personal best into the 1 minute 20.7s. This is very good. Our final sector is great. Oh, Schumacher's battling with Ricciardo, and Stroll's managed to break the DRS now, so both of us pulling away here, which is great. Another personal best. Trying really hard to try and drop Stroll and open the gap. He's a bit quicker than me, but when I use battery I'm faster, but when I'm trying to save he's quicker, so I'm trying to just manage it. Slowly build out the gap.
Okay, we're reaching a danger point with the wear on the MGU-H. Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue, so keep temps under control, please.
Definitely a bit of a risk. I'm considering using this engine for Monaco. The more it wears out though, the more I'm doubting I will. I'm literally treating every lap like a qualifying lap. I'm pushing on the limit. I'm flat out every single lap right now. And I'm just keeping Stroll out of DRS range. Schumacher's got back in, so kind of hoping they just battle and take some pressure off me. Personal best. Stroll does not have DRS, but he's managed to catch back up. He's pushing hard. Schumacher as well. We're dropping the pack. Stroll might have a chance here. I don't entirely mind. I will try to defend, but he commits to the inside. I'll brace myself and I'm going straight back through.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
Thought I got damage. Luckily there was contact, but no damage for us, so we keep going. And we've lost the DRS, so I cannot get overtaken now. Stroll is literally breathing down my neck right now. DRS is still offline, so we're having to defend. Trying to make my car as wide as possible. Just have no straight line speed right now. That's the main issue. I'll try and focus, see if I can nail this section. Oh, it's decent enough. I'll probably have just enough to survive this lap. Stroll will have one more attempt next lap around.
Okay, we've only got one lap of fuel remaining.
That was even better. I think we're going to be okay. Instead, Schumacher's the one that's looking to get by. I think Stroll's used all of his battery. Schumacher's closing here. I'm going to have to defend. All of a sudden, Schumacher turning up to 11. And we're not out of the woods yet. Schumacher's looking for a move, but I think we'll hold on now. And we've got it. Yep, we're okay now. Some Schumacher. Oh, had to close the door there. I could see he was lining up the move. Had a beautiful turn 9. Used all the battery. Did everything I could, but I just had to close the door. Here we go then. We're home and dry. We've made it. No more mistakes, no points, but another hard-fought P12. And we're getting closer. Didn't have the pace today, but we made the best of it. And I'll take that. That's a good result.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
So as they climb out of the car, the Red Bull team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly deserved win. Napoli Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team strategies. They got all those things right today and the results speak for themselves.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
Another successful day in the office, and to be fair, I'm happy with that. The pace wasn't there. The fastest laps kind of tell you that as well. A big gap to the top 11, not really ideal. Probably a pit stops gap to Magnussen, the next car ahead, but still, we did what we could. We maximised the race result, and that's all we can, really do at this stage. Red Bull, though, pick up the 1-2. Perez with the W. Sainz third ahead of Russell, Hamilton. Leclerc with a very average P6 ahead of Alonso, who finishes best of the rest with a fastest lap. And yeah, that's kind of your order. Lance Stroll, P14, decent race from him as well. And we beat both Williams, which is kind of the basic target, really. And yeah, Pierre Gasly, the only DNF of the race. Into the standings, again, we're still pointless. Russell still leads. And as you can see, we are pretty much the only two teams left. Aston Martin and Williams without any points to our names. So hopefully we can change that soon. Monaco next. We'll see what happens. But guys, leave a like and subscribe. And that is it for today's episode. Not really the most action, but that's Spain for you. That's kind of how it runs around here. Either way, hopefully still enjoyed the fight, and I gave it everything. That was essentially qualifying laps in the last stint on the hard tire, so I gave it 110%, and very happy with it. So, yeah guys, thanks for watching. As always, a big shout out to the members. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Take care, and let's go back from me.